what on earth happened to Ajax? 6 years after destroying Real Madrid in the Bernabeu and kicking Ronaldo's Juventus out of the Champions League, the club seems gone. In 2019, Ajax were the fairy tale, a team of fearless kids dancing through Europe, taking down giants, and reminding the world that football could still be beautiful. They didn't buy a dynasty, as we see far too much today. They actually built a dynasty, a squad of youth academy graduates and bargain signings. And they played as if they were at the playground in their neighborhood, the freedom, flair, and fearlessness. They made football feel pure again. But only a couple of years later, the dream has burned to ashes. From Champions League glory to their worst season in modern history, Ajax have gone from a symbol of beauty to a warning for every club that thinks success is simple. This is the story of how Ajax fell apart, and why even now their fall might teach us more than their rise ever did. Welcome back to Football Cosmos. We need subscribers, please support us, and now let's dive in. It started with a vision. Erik Ten Hag, a tactician obsessed with Johan Cruyff's philosophy of total football, believed Ajax could still compete with Europe's elite without abandoning their soul. In January 2018, Erik Ten Hag got presented as the new Ajax head coach. At that time, Ajax had not been national champions for 4 years in a row. Ten Hag's first match was an immediately tough one. Feyenoord Ajax, the most heated match there is in the Eredivisie. The rivalry between the two is extremely intense. Mission passed, Ajax won 2-0 in Rotterdam. This proved to be the start of something beautiful. Ten Hag built a team that embodied everything Ajax stood for. Frenkie de Jong, elegant and calm under pressure. Matthijs de Ligt, the teenage captain who led like a veteran. Hakim Ziyech, unpredictable magic in human form. And Dusan Tadic, the experienced glue who held it all together. In the Champions League, they tore through expectations. They came through the 3 qualifying rounds very convincingly to secure themselves a place in the group stage. In the group with Bayern Munich, Benfica and AEK Athens, 3 wins and 3 draws were enough to advance to the knockout stage. And then a tough draw for the round of 16, Real Madrid. Everyone suspected it would end here, but Ajax dismantled Real Madrid in Madrid, beating the 3-time holders 4-1. Ajax embarrassing Real Madrid at home. Who would have thought? In the next round, they eliminated Juventus, silencing Cristiano Ronaldo's crowd. By the time they reached the semi-finals, Europe had fallen in love. Ajax weren't just winning or just lucky, they were reviving the spirit of the game. But football has a cruel sense of timing. With seconds left against Tottenham in the semi-finals, Lucas Moura scored to secure the Spurs a ticket to the final. Dream over. The young men who'd conquered giants were left in tears on their own pitch. Unlucky Ajax, but still, everyone believed it was just the beginning, the start of something lasting. Ajax were back to compete with the European giants. But beauty doesn't pay the bills. The Ajax success came with a price, the attention of Europe's wealthiest clubs. Within months, their heroes were gone. Frenkie de Jong to Barcelona, De Ligt to Juventus, Ziyech, Van de Beek, Tagliafico, each moved on. The dream team was dismantled, one transfer at a time. That's the paradox of Ajax. They are too good for their own league, but too small to keep what they build. Their identity is both their greatest strength and their eternal curse. A well-known story for top clubs outside the top 5 leagues in the world. Nevertheless, money came in. In fact, a lot of money, hundreds of millions. But money cannot replace chemistry. You can't buy rhythm, you can't buy joy. And for Ajax, those things were everything. As new players arrived, the style remained, but the soul began to fade. The orchestra could play the same notes, but without the same heart. Ten Hag tried to rebuild. He found new leaders in Lisandro Martinez, Antony and Ryan Gravenberch. Mohamed Kudus turned out to a huge talent. Sebastian Haller scored every ball that came his way. Ajax dominated the Dutch league again. They won titles, dazzled Europe in flashes, and convince fans that the machine still worked. In the Champions League 21-22 group stage, they finished first with 6 wins out of 6 matches and a goal difference of plus 15. They completely destroyed Borussia Dortmund, Sporting Portugal and Besiktas. Were we going to get a dominant Ajax again that would entertain the world? Well, not really, because they immediately got kicked out of the Champions League in the round of 16 by Benfica, and behind the scenes cracks were forming. In February 2022, a shock scandal hit the club. Mark Overmars, the sporting director credited with Ajax's smart recruitment and revival, resigned after misconduct allegations. His sudden exit tore a hole in the club's structure. He had a crucial role in the resurrection of the club. The leadership that once felt unshakable started to fracture. And when Ten Hag left for Manchester United, the last stabilizing pillar went with him. Ajax lost not just a manager, but a mindset. The disciplined philosophy that had guided their rise was gone, and in its place came confusion. After Ten Hag's departure in 2022, Ajax looked leaderless. 1 year later, Edwin van der Sar, the general manager, also left the club. Ajax turned to Sven Mislintat, a sporting director known for data-driven scouting and bold signings. What followed was a transfer window unlike anything in Ajax history. Dozens of fairly unknown players came in for huge amounts of money, dozens of players out. And combine that with no clear vision tying it all together. For a club defined by clarity, Ajax became chaotic. The new arrivals didn't fit the system. Managers came and went. The team's confidence eroded week by week. By the autumn of 2023, Ajax, 4-time European champions, were actually sitting at the bottom of the Eredivisie, only 4 years after almost reaching the Champions League final. It was their worst start in over 60 years. The club was on fire, and it didn't look like it would be put out anytime soon. Fans protested outside the Johan Cruyff Arena. The club that once symbolized composure had become a symbol of crisis. Every week brought a new headline. Board disputes, director suspensions, angry fans. Ajax were imploding publicly, painfully and completely. After these successful years and significant transfer income, it was expected that Ajax would transform into the Bayern Munich or PSG of the Netherlands, but reality brought something completely different. By 2024, the pressure had returned. A young manager, Francesco Farioli, was brought in to steady the ship. There was a brief spark of hope. Under new leadership, the team began to climb again. A few wins, a few glimpses of the old Ajax. Without actually playing good football, like Ajax was known for, Farioli still managed to get results. Ajax climbed the table, even seriously fought for the title. Even the players of PSV and Feyenoord already talked about never overtaking Ajax for the national title. But as the season neared its end, everything unraveled again. Last-minute goals conceded, lost matches against mid-table teams in the league, and in one chaotic final month, Ajax surrendered a near-certain championship. As unbelievable as it seemed, Ajax still managed to give it away. They lost a lead of 9 points in the last 5 games of the season. The result, PSV were crowned champions of the Netherlands. The Ajax collapse wasn't just sporting, it was symbolic. A decade of brilliance and belief undone by hubris and instability. For fans, it was heartbreak. For the football world, it was a cautionary tale. Because the Ajax downfall wasn't about money or tactics, it was about identity. They stopped being Ajax, and once that was gone, everything else followed. Francesco Farioli, the head coach, left Ajax after 1 year and he went to Porto. Another blow that is hard for Ajax to bear, because despite the football not always being as sparkling as it could be, Farioli was still capable of winning matches with fighting spirit and character. Whichever way you look at it, ultimately the coach is there to achieve the results. So, Another new manager arrived, John Heitinga. Before his new Ajax job, he was assistant manager to Arne Slot at the all-powerful Liverpool side. Heitinga was already a player for Ajax during his football career, and now he can show what he is capable of as head coach. But as of today, the results and field play are quite disappointing. There is a lot of discontent among the supporters, and the media is very harsh, and rightly so, on the poor performances that Ajax is showing. Ajax, their story isn't unique, but it feels personal, because we all wanted to believe they could be different, that a club rooted in youth and community could stand tall against global giants built on billions. For a while they did. They showed the world that vision and courage still matter. That football isn't just about money and power, it's about purpose. But somewhere along the line, Ajax lost sight of that. The fall of Ajax is the story of what happens when ideals collide with modern football's machine, a machine that devours patience, prioritizes profit, and punishes tradition. Yet even now, amid the chaos, something remains unbroken. Because Ajax isn't just a club, it's a belief, a promise that football can still be played the right way by the brave, the young, the creative. At De Toekomst, the Ajax Academy, another generation is training right now. A 17-year-old dreaming of Europe, a 16-year-old learning to play without fear. They've seen the chaos, they've heard the criticism, but they also know what Ajax stands for, what it must stand for. So maybe this isn't the end, maybe it's just another cycle in a story that never truly stops. Ajax fell, but the idea of Ajax endures. And as long as that idea survives, so does hope. Because somewhere in Amsterdam, another miracle is waiting. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.